When he got on a plane in Portland, Oregon last night, he was just another passenger who gave his name as D.A. Cooper. But today, after hijacking a Northwest Airlines jet, ransoming the passengers in Seattle, then making a getaway by parachute somewhere between there and Reno, Nevada, the description on one wire service, master criminal.
36 passengers got off the jetliner in Seattle last night. Left aboard 4 crew members and the hijacker, dressed in a business suit, demanding $200,000 and carrying a plain briefcase which he told the crew held explosives. With the full ransom collected from Seattle banks and 4 parachutes aboard, the plane headed for Reno. It took 3.5 hours, slow for a jet, but the hijacker had given detailed flight instructions. The rear stairwell was open all the way. It arrived at Reno in shreds. The crew, here being debriefed by the FBI, was told to fly low over Oregon's flatlands with the flaps down. The speed dropped to 200 miles per hour. Somewhere, the hijacker parachuted away with the money.
How did you surmise that he was not on the plane when he landed in Reno?
Well, a search was made of the plane immediately after landing.
As we understood it, he could have gotten off as the plane taxied before it came up here. How did the crew know he wasn't on when it touched ground?
The crew couldn't know that, but we had the airport covered.
Are the authorities now searching for him?
Snow covers the mountains in Northern California and Nevada, a hostile terrain for any parachute drop, especially at night. Police believe he left the 727 in the flatlands of Oregon or Washington, but they are still looking in 4 states, even around the airport. Authorities began their search here, thinking the hijacker may have jumped off at the end of the runway as the plane touched down. But the problem is more complex. A daring parachute escape from a flying 727 somewhere between Reno and Seattle, Washington.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. And I told you I was here to bring you D.B. Cooper. Now, there's a guy who's done all this back work for D.B. Cooper. Or looking it up, and everything points to him. You can look this up yourselves, and even, I mean, I'll show you the pictures side by side, and you just tell me if this is not D.B. Cooper. You didn't see the first of this, the radio broadcast, or the TV broadcast of, and it was Dan Cooper, not D.B. Here's who I think it is, okay? The guy is named Richard Floyd McCoy. I'm not lying. I'm not making that up. That's his real name. He's born December 7, 1942. The reason why I think it's Richard McCoy is a bunch of reasons. For one, McCoy hijacked an American Airlines passenger jet for ransom in 1972, and he done the same modus operandi as D.B. Cooper. And law enforcement named McCoy as a suspect for D.B. Cooper. But anyway, for the, try to get him for the, when he got the $200,000, I believe it was in 71. Well, McCoy was born in Kingston, North Carolina, to his dad, Richard McCoy Sr., and Myrtle Helen McCoy. Well, he grew up in a nearby place called Cove City, and in 1962 he moved to Provo, Utah, where he served 2 years of duty in the Army. He fought in Vietnam. He served in Vietnam as a demolition expert. Now, mind you, because the real D.B. Cooper had a grenade, plus he had a briefcase that he said he had a bomb in it. Well, he was an expert pilot. He was in Vietnam, and he was a demolition expert and a pilot, rather. And he was awarded the Purple Heart in 1964. Now, I'm going to run down this man's awards that he got when he was in Vietnam. The Distinguished Flying Cross. He got the Air Medal, the Army Commendation Medal. He got Purple Heart, National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, and the Republic of Vietnam Campaign Medal. Now, he hijacked an airliner because on April 7th, this is after D.B. Cooper, on April 7th, 1972, McCoy boarded a United Airlines Flight 855 on a Boeing 727-22C, registration number N74266, en route to Newark, New Jersey. Okay? But anyway, the aircraft was a Boeing 727, just like the one that D.B. Cooper got on, the same used by D.B. Cooper. The hijacker, McCoy, this is what he done. He escaped in mid-flight by parachute after giving the crew a similar instructions as Cooper had. McCoy obtained a $500,000 cash. That's what he wanted, was $500,000 cash ransom, and he carried a novelty grenade. This is McCoy now, and an empty pistol. Police began the investigation and following an attempt from a motorist now that picked up McCoy after he had skydived from that Boeing 727, just like it had the back ladder drop. It had the back step drop just like the one D.B. Cooper jumped out of. He jumped out of it, he made, and if this don't tell you that D.B. lived, because McCoy actually landed and a driver and picked up McCoy hitchhiking near a fast food restaurant, and McCoy was wearing a jumpsuit carrying a duffel bag. McCoy also talked about how easy it would be to carry out a hijacking. Fingerprints and handwriting matched Richard Floyd McCoy. He's in the National Guard, and he was flying one of the helicopters. He was involved looking for himself. That's what he was doing at the time, I guess, when they arrested him. Well, inside McCoy's house, they found a duffel bag, a jumpsuit, and $499,970 in cash. Well, they arrest him, and that was insane. By the way, he gave him the note. This was on flight 855 that left from San Francisco to Newark, New Jersey. It said, the note said, everybody off now except stewardess. They stay put. Get the hell off the ground. Be quick about it. Use this runway. And his wife, Carolyn Louise Burns, who he had met back in Utah, he was married to. They had 2 children together, and they got married in Raleigh in 1965. Well, anyway, he got 45 years in prison, and he was serving it in Pennsylvania, I believe it was, and he was in a federal prison on August 10, 1974. He took a garbage truck and escaped through the main gate with 3 other convicts. Well, two of them was captured 3 days later after they botched a bank robbery, I reckon. Well, 3 months later, the FBI finally located McCoy. Now, I think they meant to kill McCoy. In Virginia Beach, Virginia. The news report stated this. It said, on November 9th, 1974, McCoy walked into his home and was met by FBI agent Nick O'Hara and Kevin McPartland and Gerald Houlihan. Not kidding. He shot at him, McCoy did supposedly, and the agents opened fire, killing McCoy. Melvin Dale Walker, who was one of the other escaped convicts that was living with him, tried to run away in the getaway car and was caught shortly after in a chase. Well, he lived, they didn't shoot him. Well, the neighbor said that was the best neighbor they ever had, McCoy, and he never harmed nobody or nothing. I just don't see him opening fire on the FBI agents. Anyway, here is a big teller that this is for sure. Not only, I mean, you can see the mugshots and stuff. Everything's matching up. Well, there's a lawsuit. In 1991, it was a publication of a book called D.B. Cooper, The Real McCoy. It was written by the Chief Probation Officer Bernie A. Rose, Jr., who was an FBI agent, and Russell P. Callum, and both authors investigated the McCoy hijacking case. And in their book, McCoy is D.B. Cooper. That's what they said. Well, here's what happened. After the publication, McCoy's wife filed suit against the author and publisher. The why is for the misrepresentation of her involved in the case and settled out of court. But during the court proceedings, it was revealed that McCoy's widow was deeply involved in the hijacking. McCoy, D.B. Cooper, left behind a tie, it's a clip-on tie, and a pearl tie clasp, okay? In that book, The Real McCoy, it says this. They showed the mother-in-law and the wife a picture, a clip and a tie, and the mother of pearl that was on the tie clasp. Myrtle Burns, McCoy's mother-in-law, said right off the bat, that was Richard's without a second look. And Denise, his wife, says, that's Richard's tie and that's his pearl tie clasp. What are you guys doing with it? The FBI agent said, well, Denise, this photograph of this tie and clasp, that's of D.B. Cooper left behind. What else can you say? That's D.B. Cooper. in the plane and the hijacking in Portland. The book contains behind the scenes, if they still sell it, ought to check it out. Now this doesn't mean nothing bad toward his ex-wife who's passed on or him. I truly believe the FBI killed him, in my opinion. They shot him because they was embarrassed. He was looking at 45 years, but I believe Richard McCoy, and they come out with a documentary too, I think it's on HBO, one of them, or Netflix. He hijacked that Boeing 727. He was D.B. Cooper. They could not catch who was supposed to be Dan Cooper, D.B. Cooper, and it was really Richard Floyd McCoy. Well, anyway, that's my little spiel. Take care.